is followed, you smell what the Danny is cooking. At the end of the day, I've done this a lot. I made the mistake of buying my first laundromat. I did not know what I was doing, like just about everybody, because middle class people don't go into these stores. But I don't know, Brian. You probably don't tour your laundries or your suites that are not empty. Like you said, hey, I've got this empty suite. This place, it's not the worst laundry I've seen. It's far from it. But dead bodies aside, they have a homeless problem. They've got really old equipment. But if they're paying the rent on time, who cares, really? Just the community that wants a better store. So I'm not here to call up and ask for your rent rolls or try to find out exactly what's going on with your tenant. That's your business. But if the time comes, you'll be the hero of the Monday meeting saying, hey, I've got someone who's a very serious operator who wants to change this place and change the outlook of the center, if that makes sense.
Yeah, understood. Okay, I'll definitely save your contact if you want to shoot me some of your information by text. And let me just ask you one final question. Would you
Yeah, of course.
at all be willing to pay the tenant if they were to want to vacate the space?
I'd rather you not even mention it, frankly, because I do not want to purchase the business at any price short of, that dollar for paperwork. And if you do,
Understood.
if anyone comes at them and says, there's a lot of fervor right now, you wouldn't know this. I mean, we spend our lives doing what we do, but in laundromats, there's a lot of online dipshits that are running around saying it's the greatest business ever. People are being inundated. Operators are being inundated with letter writing campaigns. Things have changed in recent years, right? Thanks to the interwebs. And I don't want an operator to think that I'm interested or intrigued, even though I am, because I'm only interested and intrigued if this set of circumstances falls into place. You or anyone else says, hey, we got somebody who really wants this space. Come on, somebody knocks on your door and says, I want to buy your house. The best thing you can do is slam the door in their face. Even if you're about to lose the house to the bank, your first reaction is, oh, thank you. And then come back and get the business card that they leave behind and tell them maybe you're interested. This is all a negotiation, and I am frankly not in a hurry. And I think that's the more important answer. I'm not in a hurry, and therefore maybe we'll do this in a year or 6 months. I assume you don't know what the disposition is. This could be a month-to-month lease for all I know.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it's good. I'll definitely save your contact in case I know of any laundromats that are vacating the space or,
Exactly right. Any laundries,
with the rent.
and this is my cell phone number, the only number you need. What's your email address, Brian? Got it the first time through. All right, I'll send you an email. I'll CC my partner Randy, and again, at the end of the day, I'm very interested in this particular space because it's under your umbrella. Just poke around, find out if there's anything going down there. And I know it's not in your basket because it's not technically for lease, but you don't want month-to-month tenants either.
Yeah.
Thanks for the time.
Okay.
I'll send you some pictures of our
Appreciate it.
stores,
Thanks.
et cetera. All right, Randy, something interesting there, right? I never asked him what was going on with the tenant, if you noticed. I can't do that. It's going to turn people off. I don't want to say pitch, but I made him fully aware of what we do and how we do it. When we first called, it was interesting because he said, oh, the address you're giving me is incorrect. It's this address, because in his mind, he's got an empty space that he wants to lease to someone, right? Oh, no, not that address, this address.
Right.
And then I say, well, and he also, it's a function of the human mind where he doesn't want to admit that he knows nothing about this tenant 2 doors down, but he doesn't. He'd have to look it up. And that's okay. He's not the property manager. He's the leasing agent. So the property manager is the landlady who collects rent and the old battle axe that bothers everybody. And then 2 doors down is the leasing agent, and that's really his thing. So, understanding that there is a difference, number one, and number two. We're going to have to poke this guy in a month or so and remind him of the conversation. Likely he won't have looked. He won't care. But job done because he does understand what we do. And it's a good conversation. He was actually listening because he did say, did you want me to reach out to them and see if they want to sell out? No. And I'm happy to explain the reasons why. I will send him the...
No. Listen, I got that. He was absorbing everything you said. He was sucking on every single word and processing it. And you're right. I don't think he chimed in, Danny, because he did not know the disposition of that particular laundromat.
Yeah, he doesn't know what's going on, and that's fine. I know that, and realistically, nor should he really understand what's going on there. That's not his job, if you will. All right, we've got another. So that your marching orders in 1 month, we'll call him back. So set your calendar for a follow up.
I'm just fucking peeing on myself that we talk to somebody. That's fucking great.
You're so new to this. You have no right to complain. The man's
I'm shitless. All right, that's cool. Got somebody to check on it if that works.
Yeah, man. We it's not luck. It's just if you do the job and you find the proper information and the right leasing agent, then we're going to get somebody. You know, frankly, I couldn't have as many clients as I do if I was calling and making a 25-minute conversation with everybody all day long, every day. So leave a lot of messages, wait for return calls. I'm returning calls every day, all day long. You don't see that behind the scenes shit. I'm not going to make a YouTube video about leaving messages. It's just boring.
Right.
All right. We are, and we are live on YouTube, by the way. All right. We are going over to the next gentleman, and we've got a wireless number. Now, we have a number that rings at the convenience store for this dude, right? Is that the only number we have?
No, the correct number, if you went down to the shared notes, the correct number is the 954-483.
I told you we were on YouTube so that you wouldn't just start blathering out numbers, but luckily I have a dump button, so got it. You can highlight things and stuff. All right, so that's the right number, and that's no, it's fine. I took care of it. That's his cell phone number, and
yes.
Now you're writing notes that you talked to him about renting it, but it says I assume that means Randy, because I even write Danny when it's me. So yeah, you spoke to him prior to hiring me.
No, it was after the fact. I was in the shopping center and literally ran into him.
Okay.
And he was being very evasive about anything. And then I was also at the center. I ran into supposedly the owner of the laundromat, and that's where I learned it had a sign in there. It says for sale. Yeah. His name is Simon. I think there's some connection between.
Let's not mention names. So we have a person, the operator who wants to sell it, and they have a sign inside of the laundromat.
Yes.
Because laundromat patrons are really the people that are running around spending 150 grand on businesses, right? That's a great way to sell your business. Genius. Just
exactly.
Genius. And I also want to touch on the fact that when you're in traffic and an 80-year-old woman cuts you off, it's a very simple matter to flip her off and say, you know, you rotten, horrific motherfucker, right? But the same woman comes up and sticks a knife in your back in a supermarket, and you're more like, oh, ma'am, why did you do that? When you meet someone face to face and start blathering on about what you want to do and how you want to do it, they might think you're an off-kilter lunatic and that idea is the dumbest thing they've ever heard. But depending on your demeanor, how tall you are, how short they are, it's a face-to-face thing. And more people don't want that. So I'm just saying, he might say, oh, okay, very interesting. But he's thinking, I would never, ever, ever get in the way of the tenant. Over the phone, that's more like traffic. People are more willing to tell you what they really think. So what we have here is Mo, we've got his number, and we know that the operator's trying to sell, and we know that the business is failing for that very reason. It's the truth of it. Why is he trying so hard to sell it when the world is full of people writing letters to buy a laundromat? Well, because never the two shall meet, and if they do, and anyone actually did any due diligence, maybe they'd ask if it was making money. Of course not. All right, without further ado, let's call this dude up and see if he picks up the phone. Stand by.
Got it. Going to mute.
Now's where you subscribe. When you hear the phone ring, hit the button.
Your call has been forwarded to an automatic voice message system. Not the tone. Please record your message. When you have finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options.
Mohammed, you ran into my partner, Randy, at your center. I believe he made it clear we'd be returning to discuss lease terms. My name is Danny. Call me back on my cell phone, the number that you see on your caller ID, which is appreciate you. All right, so we put in the notes, Danny dialed the generic horrific email. I hope that when you got the number from him, you never spoke to him on this line, you talked to him in person?
That's correct. I have just ran into him on the sidewalk. He was evasive as to who he was.
Sure.
Actually, I don't know why.
No, that's fine. Yes or no question. No, you've never talked to him. So I hope that the number is correct. He calls me day or night, 5 minutes, 5 days, 5 hours, doesn't matter what time of day, if it's on a weekend. I'll text you and we will call him back. Nicely done. Thanks, Randy.
Thanks, Danny. See you.
Cheers, brother. All right, kids, a few minutes with you. And then as the nail of thumb shows, we will be talking to our good friend Hender and rolling out the party. But first, your comments. We have, let's get this party started, says Mac. Hello from Philly, says Michael. Hi. I'm new to your channel, and I've been watching nonstop. What are your thoughts on hybrid systems of coin and card? Well, if you watched anything important, you would know my thoughts. You do not need cards. Period. End of story. You do not. It looks like the stupid computer is spinning out of control. Let's see what happens here. Interesting. Interesting.